Welcome to an experience powered by Pipe TV.
The love of our community speaks. Real talks, real solutions.
Welcome to the Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm your host, Marcie Novella, and today we have a special treat. We have a person that has not even triple 4 titles. A poet, a producer, a playwriter, and director. Please welcome Lola Cooper.
Thank you.
So, hi Lola, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So, as I mentioned, all those titles, how did you get your beginning?
Well, I've always loved entertaining people. Even when I was a little girl, I used to entertain my family by rhyming and telling them little stories and just making people laugh. I've always loved entertaining. And then I started writing in elementary school. My favorite thing was when the teacher asked for an essay. I could write whatever I wanted to, especially if it was an open essay and you could just pick your subject and write. I've always loved writing.
So, we now have a project that you're working on. Can you tell us about your project?
Yes. I have a project, it's called Oldfashioned Girl. So one of the things that I'll go back, because like I said, I always like writing. I used to write stories and skits, and then I got into poetry.
I'm sorry, can you tell us the prior projects that you had?
Okay. So, yeah, I got into poetry, writing poetry. So I wrote a couple of poetry books, 3 actually. And then I met other poets. I used to host poetry events and go to poetry events. So I met other poets. And then eventually I incorporated the storytelling with the poetry. And so all of my plays are based on poetry. They're centered around poetry. And I met a colleague, a fellow poet, who I just thought her poetry was excellent. It's very similar to the style that I write. And she has, hundreds or thousands of poems. But I picked 11 of them, and I wrote the current project around her poetry, and it's called Oldfashioned Girl. Prior to that, I wrote In Love with Mom. That was my first play. And my second play was called A Fat Cow.
Oh, wow. And I know your mom personally. She's a sweet person.
Oh,
Was that
you.
an inspiration?
That's kind of tricky. Well, actually, I'll say it was. It was. But it's kind of tricky because I actually had 3 mothers. I had my mother that you met. My grandmother raised me partially. And then I also had a stepmother.
So did you combine all into one character?
I tell pieces of each one of them through the poetry. Mostly my mom, but there's also pieces of my grandmother and my stepmother in the book and in the play.
Wow, that's really great. And just tell us a little bit more about your current project, because we're about to talk more about that.
Yeah. Well, that project is based on the work of a fellow poet named Cindy Calderon. She's an excellent poet, as I said, and I took 11 of her poems. The central poem is Old-Fashioned Girl. I'm just an old-fashioned girl. I think girls should wear curls. I think summers should be long. I think you should cover up that thong. So she has stuff like that. Since when we stopped cooking chicken with lard, I love back in the day, the press and the curls. So it's like a really cute poem, and that's the center theme. The theme of the play is based on that poetry. But then there's other things: the whiskey woman, fear.
Well, hold that thought, because when we get back, we're going to have a skit of her current film, her current play.
Okay.
And please, everybody join us. This is The Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm Marcie Novella. We'll be back.
Okay.
Welcome back to The Love of Our Community Speaks. As we said that we are about to do a skit, Miss Lola, can you please introduce your cast?
Yes. The skit is called Oldfashioned Girl. It's a play by Lola Cooper, poetry by Cindy Calderon. And tonight's performance, in the role of Debbie, we have Yudonna Clinkscales. And in the role of Dee Dee, we have Sharon Chambers.
Okay. Action, everyone.
No, Mom, I'm not going to ask Didi that. I don't believe that for a second. That's just based on some gossip you heard. And I really don't want to hear it anymore. That's how our friendship went off track 15 years ago. Mom, that doesn't make sense. Didi was married all through that time. I know she married 3 times, but my point is she moved on. And so did James. James was married to Sheila for 9 years. Mom, did you forget? James told me what happened with his marriage. The problem was Sheila. Okay, Mom, I'm not going backward. What about forgiveness? Mom, that's not the way you raised me. Listen, Mom, I gotta go. Didi will be here in a minute. I'll talk with you later. All right, bye.
Oh, Debbie, this place is very nice. I like it. I love the colors. They're so bright.
Oh, thanks, Didi. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give her positive vibes. Come on in. Have a seat. Can I get you something to drink? Water, soda, juice, maybe some coffee?
Oh, no, I'm good. Maybe later, but thank you.
Okay. I'm glad you made it here, girl. So good to see you. We have so much to catch up on. It's been so long. I want to hear everything, Didi. Absolutely everything.
No, girl. I want to hear all about you. Looks like you and James doing quite well for yourselves. Because this place, it really is fabulous. Seems being a CEO of Black Phones Are Us is paying off quite well for y'all.
Didi, girl, how'd you know about that? About James' company?
Sorry, Debbie, I didn't mean to blurt it out like that. It's just that, girl, you know you can't hide something like this from people in an old neighborhood. Whether you're doing good or if you're doing bad, everybody gonna find out about it. You know how it is.
I guess so.
Oh, that's right. You got away, and girl, you stayed away. You probably forgot all about us in the old neighborhood. But Debbie, I didn't know that you and James stayed in touch with each other.
Girl, actually, we not too long ago got back in touch. I guess we picked up where we left off. So we went on and got married anyway. Figured we wasted enough time anyway.
Well, he's always loved you anyway. That whole time he was married to Sheila, it was you that he wanted.
Girl, you say that with a lot of conviction. How you know about James' relationship with Sheila? You seem to know an awful lot. How much did you and James stay in touch?
I mean, I wouldn't say we stayed in touch. I mean, we ran into each other a few times. We spoke a little bit here and there. But it was obvious he still carried a torch for you. I mean, I must be right. Look, you guys are together. Y'all are married now. And you know, Debbie, I'm just sorry I missed your wedding. I'm sorry how the whole thing turned out. Debbie, do you think you could ever forgive me?
Yes, Mom. Everything went just fine. Actually, she left before James came home. Mom, that's the past. Listen, Mom, let's talk about something else. What happened on your favorite show, your favorite TV show today? Glamour Grannies. Did Amy leave Blake for Boston? And what about Tanja? Did she go on an excursion with a boy? What's been happening, Mom? I need an update.
That was fantastic, Lola.
Thank you.
So, you have an announcement for everyone. Please share.
Well, that was a preview of our show, Old-Fashioned Girl. The actual play is about an hour and it takes 4 characters. So if anybody wants to contact me, I'm at remembermeimlola@gmail.com. And the Ages are from, I'll say, 25 to 50. That's remember me, I'm Lola at gmail.com.
You heard it first. There are vacancies. So please stay tuned and listen out for further details. Until next time, hashtag Alvin Represents. I'm your host, Marcie Novella. Please follow me on all major platforms. Good night, everyone.
Pretty women often wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute. I built a suit a fashion model size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's the reach of my arms. It's the span of my hips. It's the stride of my step and the curl of my lips. 'Cause I'm a woman. Phenomenally phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me like a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes. It's the flash of my teeth. It's the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. 'Cause I'm a woman, phenomenally phenomenal woman, that's me. Now, men themselves have often wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they cannot touch my inner mystery. And when I try to tell them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back. It's in the sun of my smile. It's in the ride of my breasts and the grace of my style. 'Cause I'm a woman. Phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's me. Now, you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about. I have to talk real loud. But when you see us passing, it ought to make you feel proud. I say it's the click of my heels. It's the bend of my hair. It's the palm of my hand and the need for my care. 'Cause I'm a woman. Phenomenally phenomenal woman. That's Tonni.
Welcome to the Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm your host, Marcie Novella. We have a special guest in the audience. Her name that she goes by is Lyrical Faith. Please welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I looked over your profile. You had a lot of major accomplishments. I saw Syracuse Poet of the Year, third rank poet of women, slam artist, spoken person. You got a lot of things going on. I would like to say congratulations on all that you did.
Thank you.
Tell us now, how did you get started with poetry?
Sure. So when I was 12, I was in my 6th grade English class, and my English teacher, Miss Brown, introduced us to the art of spoken word. I had been familiar with poetry, but as many of us know, going through your K through 12 schooling, poetry is typically just categorized as, studying Shakespeare and, Robert Frost and sometimes Emily Dickinson and just a lot of old dead white people. And so it wasn't really something that as a younger child I was able to relate to.
So you dig deeper, didn't you?
Well, when she introduced us to spoken word, that was a completely different world. And so we were able to watch spoken word poets, Def Poetry Jam, and just kind of like really listen to the melodic flow and kind of understand like the craft of spoken word in particular, which is different than just than its literary art form of just poetry, right, on the page. And so this was poetry for the stage. And so that is what attracted me. And I stuck to it. I started writing every day, and I continued to take that with me throughout the rest of my life. So, yeah.
But it's not just here locally. You're international, aren't you?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have been able to perform in South Africa. I've performed in Paris several times. I've performed in Belize, and I've also performed in Mexico.
Wow. And yet still you're representing the Bronx, right?
The Bronx all day, the boogie down.
Yeah. And I also noticed that you went to Syracuse University.
I did.
So what was accomplished there? Did that school help you to also enhance your craft?
For sure. So my time at Syracuse University was some of the most transformative years of my life. I was a part of the poetry program that was there at the time, Verbal Blend Poetry Program, ran by, still to this day, my still to this day mentor, Cedric T. Bolton. And so at the time, Verbal Blend was the home of spoken word poetry slams, open mics, workshops, and just all things with a love for poetry. So there was a lot of, a esteemed group of spoken word poets on campus, and I was able to really bond with all the poets on campus, the upperclassmen, even the lowerclassmen that came in after me, and I was able to compete in slams. We were able to bring in some of my role models, people who I looked up to in the poetry world, to campus to feature at our events and whatnot. And so I always, just always had so much of a love and respect for the craft and for seeing them. I felt like one day this has to be me. And so on campus, people definitely started to know me as the spoken word poet. I was getting booked and requested to perform at many different banquets and events around campus. I was winning talent shows with my poetry and all sorts of things. And so I then took that and continued to, after I graduated, before I graduated, I was actually awarded the Poet of the Year at Syracuse. And so that was, thank you. Syracuse has a very, very special place in my heart. It's my second home. So that is one of my most esteemed accomplishments. And so anyway, after that, after graduation, I continued to just professionalize my craft and continue to perform and take my work and my poetry to greater spaces.
Well, you are certainly talented, and I met you at Charlemagne's book signing. That's where I met you. And
I do enjoy the Breakfast Club, yes.
And we were there, and I saw you networking. I was drawn to you. I got to follow you and see some of your work. You are amazing. So I'm looking forward to you coming to the stage and performing for us. That's your love, and I want people to see how you can showcase your talent.
we'll be back soon. Let's give it up for Lyrical Faith. And let's watch her perform. Stay tuned on The Love of Our Community Speaks.
Welcome back to The Love of Our Community Speaks. I'm Marcie Novella, and we're about to hear Lyrical Faith perform. Please join us. Come on in.
The British Empire is considered to be the largest monarchy in the world. After Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, she realized she couldn't have that same blood on her hands. The royal family is responsible for imperialism, genocide, slavery, the architecture of apartheid, a sovereign seeking power over poverty, and Meghan's melanin did not fit the description of those who end up on the Queen's side. Being half black was her upset for a seat in line to take the throne, from public scrutiny to death threats to racist remarks from family, until eventually they became discouraged and were the first Duke and Duchess who decided to step down. So my question is, are you really conceding if they push you out? Kamala Harris, I want you to know you are royalty. That despite being married to a white man, neither you nor Meghan could be loved well enough into whiteness. And though this isn't Great Britain, the reality is that anti-blackness is global, spilling over more parts of the world than they could colonize. Kamala, every black woman knows a story of rejection despite being more than qualified. Your campaign was only 100 days, so you had half the time to work twice as hard, and I still felt the same excitement of Obama. Felt the pride I had when casting a vote for Hillary. But Madam VP, you are the common denominator of democracy. Though freedom was promised in our Constitution, you fought for a country that would still discount you, widen the margins, so that this time it was overwhelmingly lost by a landslide, meaning people showed up in masses to make bigotry the popular vote. In 2016, Donald Trump ran against Hillary Clinton and won. In 2020, Donald Trump ran against Joe Biden and lost. Let's not forget, he only wins against women because America will do anything to prove she can keep a man. Miss Harris, you did not deserve the public scrutiny, the death threats, the racist remarks from this country. You inspired us of hope, straightened our crown to help us see you bear your own, showed us black girls are fit to be a duchess, remind our children that they too come from kings and queens, that we too are next in line to take the throne, that sometimes winning is simply not backing down without a fight. It's declaring what our ancestors are made of, and what greater dream than living the wildest legacy of generations beyond slavery. Madam VP, you showed me that we are not going back, that there is survival in these sacred grounds, a lifeline on the other end of our revolt, a heartbeat engraved in the tombstones of our lineage, dwelling in the waters, shooting to the North Star, reminder that majestic is entwined in our DNA, and they will tremble at the feet of our awakening. They want us to live in fear, be discouraged, and eventually decide to step down, but no one told them that giving up was not in our bloodline. So when they tried to snatch the wind from beneath my wings, to shackle my spirits, to slander my voice box. I will tell them of the empire I'm stocked from to be here. Tell them that I can shine like Shirley, sparkle like Markle, free like Frederick, lead like Harriet, move like Martin, resist like Rosa. Tell them to watch the way they wield their scriptures when they speak to me. Tell them that weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Tell them tired, tell them loud, tell them off when they try to silence me. I will take a deep breath, clear my throat, and tell them I'm speaking.
Are you an artist or model interested in moving your career to the next level? Then send an email now to MZT Castings LLC, an A&R artist model development company, to set up your consultation. We provide training for ages 6 and up and work with seasoned and promising new artists and models around the world. Here are 4 easy goals we can reach. 1. We can get you to be in print, runway, magazines, stage films, and more. 2. We can help guide you to book jobs locally and nationally for your own independent branding. 3. You can learn business etiquette and the secrets to have a success route in the industry. 4. We can make it all available to you. Email your name, complete contact information, and best time to reach you to mzt.castings@gmail.com.